you're still feeling foggy-headed, you're still waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're still gaining weight, you're not feeling like yourself anymore, and they're just telling you everything's normal. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to stop walking out of those GP appointments feeling dismissed, not heard, and actually start walking in with a bit more of a clear pattern, better questions, and a stronger next step. Now, I've put this into a free resource called the Symptom Decoder and GP Pack. So comment the word GP and I'll send that straight over to you. So hello, my name is Lucy Rand and I'm a certified health and nutrition coach. And I help women in perimenopause understand what's actually happening in their bodies when they're doing everything right, but still feeling terrible. You go to the GP looking for answers and you leave feeling either more confused, brushed off, just dismissed. And when those blood tests come back normal or the GP just brushes you off, you start to think, am I imagining it? Like, is any of this even real? In a really short appointment with the GP, things can be missed and you might not even get a chance to say everything you want to say. So when you just walk into the GP office and say, oh, I just don't feel right, I just don't feel like myself, then this is a conversation that becomes vague. And it doesn't mean that your symptoms aren't real, because they absolutely are. So what you might need is a clearer framework. So you have the right words and the specific questions that will help you move that conversation forwards. So here are 3 things to do before your next GP appointment. So step number 1 is to track those patterns, not to look at your symptoms randomly. So don't just write down, I'm tired or I feel anxious. Write down what's happening, when it's happening, how often it's happening, and how it's affecting your day-to-day life. Look at the whole system, the whole body, and write everything down. And then what we want to start to do is make a note of when these symptoms are happening, because you'll start to notice that these symptoms are rarely random. There's always something that's happening before those symptoms start to. Now, step number 2 is to translate your symptoms into clear appointment language. So instead of just don't feel myself or just feel a bit off, I want you to say that these symptoms are affecting my work, my relationships, my sleep, my daily functioning. Now, this one shift really matters because it explains the impact that it's having on your life. And this gives the GP a much clearer picture than simply saying, I just don't feel like myself anymore. Step number 3 is to prepare your questions before you go in. So when you're in the room, everything is a lot easier and you don't have to worry about forgetting everything like we do with the brain fog. If you've got them written down, you could ask certain things like, could this be linked to perimenopause, even if my blood results are normal? Because then, you're asking for a little bit more insightful information. And then depending on what those symptoms are or what the doctor says, you might want to ask whether it's appropriate to check things that, they might not have looked at just yet. So it could be a full thyroid panel, for example. And you could say, given my symptoms, would it be appropriate to check for anything that may be contributing to how I'm feeling, such as my thyroid or my vitamin D or blood sugar? So is there anything we can do to investigate or try next? And this sentence is really powerful because you're not arguing with the GP. You're just bringing the conversation back to function. So you're saying these results may be normal, but my body isn't functioning normally. So what is the next step? And this works because you're no longer hoping the GP can just piece everything together from scattered symptoms. You're bringing a really clear pattern to them. You're explaining the impact it's having on your day-to-day life, and you're asking specific questions. Because normal results do not automatically mean that your symptoms don't matter. If you want help preparing for that conversation, comment the word GP and I will send you my free Symptom Decoder and GP pack, because I know how frustrating it is going to the GP for so many of my clients. And I want you to be able to help connect your symptoms with what might be driving them, help you prepare clear notes. And so if you're told yet again, your results are normal, you're fine, I want you to be able to have the plan in place so you do not walk out of that appointment feeling dismissed and not heard, but actually feel empowered to take the next step.